What's up everyone, and welcome to another Bitcoin market update. In these videos you will learn how to use technical analysis to forecast price movements in your favorite cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others. So let's get into it here with Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. Right now we have this high right up here that we set in April. We came down and now we're potentially trying to form our higher low right here in comparison to our low down here at 9,800. We'll see if we end up doing that. Over the next 21 days, we would need to break the high of 41,322. So let's look at the weekly time frame and see what we would need to do that. The first thing we would need to do is form a higher low, because now we're coming down. So we had a low here, came up, formed a lower high, and now we're coming down again. We need to come down and form a higher low in comparison to this one here, and then come up and form a higher high above this key high right here. If we do that, then we need to break this high right here, which will give us our monthly low being set, higher low, right here at 28,796 on this exchange. So that's what we're going to be looking for over the next several weeks, is seeing, or the next few weeks I should say, seeing if we can get that higher low and higher high. The first resistance level for us is going to be this R1 pivot at about 37.6. And then after that, if we go above this, I expect us to have some resistance here up at the R2, which is at about 46,300. If we go to the lower time frames and we see the 3-day time frame right now is attempting to try and form a higher low above this low right here, back from the 21st of June. So we came up, we came and formed our lower high, which we said was likely given the magnitude of this move. And then we're coming down and we're likely going to form a higher low given the magnitude of this move. So with significant price movements, you can reasonably assume that you're going to get a higher low when you have a push up in price like this and you form a lower high. You're going to get a higher low somewhere. It's just a matter of where that is, if the move is big enough. So this move is pretty significant, and the reason for that is, we've explained in this channel, it's because it's very unlikely for us to rise 27% and then immediately after we rise 27% for us to fall down below that low and break to a new low over 21%. I mean, it's possible, considering we had this move. It's clearly possible for Bitcoin to move that much. It's just unlikely because of the size of the move. So we're looking to potentially form that higher low. We'll see if we end up getting that here on the 3-day time frame where we are now at 32,054 from yesterday, or if we're going to go down lower before forming that that higher low. So let's look at the daily time frame. If we look at this from a daily perspective, the interesting development here is this tightening range that broke to the downside but didn't get any follow through. So right here we had a low, high, higher low, lower high, and then right here we broke to a lower low below this key low right here, but we did not close below it. You can see we wicked below it twice here with these last 2 daily candles, and then we pushed up from there. So now the price is currently looking pretty bearish here, coming off of a 12-hour resistance zone that I'll show you in a second. But now if we test this dark blue zone again, we might break right through this zone. So the dark blue zone is this daily candle from back here on January 31st. So we've tested this clearly several times. This is going to be the 8th test of it likely. So if we test it, again, I don't know if this level will hold. We might just go right through this zone on another test. So that I'm going to be watching that, but I'm also watching something else on the 12-hour time frame, which is these 2 equal highs up here. So if we look at these 2 highs, we came up, we formed a high, we came down, formed a higher low, we came up and formed another high, but we didn't break to a higher high. In fact, on this exchange, we actually have exactly equal highs at 35,100, and on other exchanges that I've looked at on TradingView, this high is below this high. So both of these highs are right near each other, and that neither of them, I'm sorry, this high never went above this one. So there's stop losses right above these two key highs. And so price, I think, wants to go up into that level and grab those stop losses potentially. And that's why I have the eye here, because I'm keeping an eye on these for a potentially liquidity run where we see a push up, we see a wick above this level, and then a close down below, and then a potential dump thereafter. So right now we're operating in between two support and resistance levels on the 12-hour time frame. We have this level right here, which is this white candle right here before this drawdown. So this is where we had our push up right here, and then our drawdown. So this is our bear trend. So we have a high, low, lower high, and then lower low. And then right here, this black candle is where we have a low, high, higher low, and then higher high. And this is where now we have a support level. So now we have two different levels to keep an eye on. We'll see if we break right through this support zone and close below it. Excuse me. And close below it. We'll see. I mean, at that point, that's right. Pretty much lines up right at the same spot as the dark blue level. And the dark blue level is the daily zone that we talked about potentially breaking through. So that's going to be something I'm watching. And then this yellow level, obviously we already came into it once. So we're going to see if we can go above it to maybe grab this liquidity or even go past it. But for either of these levels, we need like two candle closes above or below them before they're really going to turn into, before they're going to flip to be the opposite thing. So for this to flip into support, the yellow zone, we'll need to go above it, close two candlesticks above it, and then, you know, potentially retest it for a potential long. And then the purple zone is going to be the zone that I'm watching for a potential push through, and then two candle closes below, and then a retest. So we'll see what we end up getting there on both of those time frames. If we go to the lower time frames, like the 4 hour, right now we can see that we have pretty messy chop here, but we're coming into the S1 hourly pivot zone right here and bouncing off of that clearly right here. So right now we'll see what we end up getting for the, you know, the next several hours, but you can see these two highs are you know, the highs that I'm really keeping an eye on. So we will see what we get there. But yeah, those are the real zones that I think are really important to keep an eye on for Bitcoin right now. If we look at other indicators like the Super Guppy, you can see the Super Guppy suppressed price right here. We talked about that on the 4 hour. Once these expanded again, it's going to provide some resistance, which it did. And then we have subsequently a breakdown there. And then if we look at this from an Ichimoku Cloud perspective, it's kind of just neutral here to bearish, with the cloud being green, but then both of these, the Tenkin and the Kijun, you know, one's in the cloud, one's out, and then the price is below it, and so it's not really giving us any good signals there. But if we look at the daily Ichimoku Cloud, this is still in a very bearish position, and if this Kijun drops below the cloud again at some point, you know, you see what happened here when it dropped below. We got this big drawdown right here, and then it went back inside, and we've kind of just chopped around. And so if it goes back outside of it again, we might see a drawdown down to somewhere like this down here, this 2-day level, which is at about 24,300. So at this point, not a lot of volatility here, not a lot of price movement for Bitcoin. So that's really what we're dealing with right now, but we may be nearing a either rise in price that's pretty significant or decline in price that's pretty significant. And that's based on things like the weekly time frame. If we get that higher low and then higher high, we'll see a pretty significant rise up from, you know, the low of this week's at 32K up to past 36. So it's like $4,000 move there in Bitcoin. And then if we see the monthly low being set, we'll come all the way past $12,300, so that'd be almost $10,000 in terms of a move. So that's all I got for this one, guys. If you like this video, give it a like down below and subscribe for future educational content around cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And if you haven't already and you're interested, send us an email at team@lutheria.com to get the information you need to join our exclusive Lutheria Signals group. This is where we post all of our different trading ideas that we have related to Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as other helpful educational resources. So check that out and send us an email. We'll get the information sent over to you right away. You'll get 24/7 access to all of the different trading ideas and updates that we have as they come. So check that out, and until tomorrow, onward and upward.